Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I am drawing a fruit, and I am doing, I'm doing a pumpkin. This is very autumn, this is very October, this is very tiny. My daughters both have a special affinity for teeny tiny pumpkins. The smaller the better. So this isn't the smallest one we have, but it is a fun one, and since the bulk of my sketchbook is primarily just green botanicals, I thought it would be fun to throw in something orange. I'm going to be doing it from this angle. I mean, this is always an option. It would totally fit, but everything in my sketchbook is from this perspective, looking straight on. So that is how I'm going to do this. I need a pencil. Here's my teeny tiny one. Again, it takes me an entire year to use up one whole pencil. All right, so I started laying out my squares for my composition, for 4 different compositions. And again, here's my pumpkin shape. This is probably the one I'm gonna go with since it blends in, but there's no reason it can't be, you know, looking down from above. So here's the stem and here's the pumpkin. Okay. There's many different ways. It could be sliced open. And there could be the pumpkin seeds if you want to see them. So if you want to do sort of a scientific illustration or something along the lines of seeing what it looks like from different angles and different perspectives with the innards pulled out, that's an option as well. The other one, you know, you could do repeating patterns. Anything asymmetrical I always find interesting because the negative space always looks really clever. So if you wanted to get really weird with it and have sort of just a corner and draw it twice and then maybe do 2 different mediums. You know, one could be colored pencil, one could be ink, or one could be watercolor, one could be charcoal, whatever media you're working with whatever sketchbook you have. Okay, so I have pulled out my oranges. Again, I have the 36 set of polychromos, so there's not a ton of orange, but I have these 3, and I'm going to need my readers to tell you the names. Thank you for being patient with me. My eyes are tired. Okay, so we have dark cadmium orange 115. This is cadmium orange 111. And this one is dark chrome yellow 109. And then for the stem, I am going to do the earth green yellowish, and I'm going to do the warm gray 5. And then because color theory is just dandy, what I'm gonna do, and it's kind of washed out on my camera, but the grooves in here obviously would be the darker orange, but I'm gonna add just a little tiny bit of indigo. If you look at the color wheel and you look at orange, orange and blue are complementary. They are opposite of each other. So I want to lean into that a little bit. So in the grooves, I'm gonna very, very lightly, with very light pressure, add some indigo, just to get this orange to pop. And this is going to be obviously darker because this is in shadow, this portion. This is the middle range. And right across here is the highlight. So that will be the lightest orange. And then it comes back darker again before we get to that green gray sort of stem there. So that's the plan, Stan. That's what I'm going to be doing today. And I think I want part of it off the page. I don't want the whole thing on. So I'm going to sort of make sure I get the general gist of the shape. Again, I've chosen to do this all to actual size. I've never done things to actual size before in a sketchbook. So doing something I've never done before is always really, really exciting to me. I want to make sure I get some of these fun bulbous shapes here. Okay. Yeah, things I've never done. And I've never done just a botanicals sketchbook before either, so this has been a ton of fun. Trying my hand at new and exciting things. So this is my pumpkin. That's not my pumpkin. This is my youngest daughter's pumpkin. You want to see my pumpkin? I'll show you one of my pumpkins. This one's mine. This is stunning. I am going to paint a ghost on there. I will post pictures or something in one of the blooper sections later. That one needs to be washed real bad. It's covered in dirt and I'm kind of here for it. Okay, let's zoom in. All right, we can see that much closer. Here are my composition sketches from a closer. These are the labels. I am not sure the exact name of the baby pumpkins, so I will try to look that. There's so many varieties of squashes and pumpkins and stuff that it is a trick and a half to identify them all. And the farm we got these from, some things were labeled, some things weren't, which is totally fine. Like, we're all just doing our best. So my husband got so many cooking ones. It's gonna be awesome. He has recipes for all the things. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the hurricanes that have been ravaging the United States. So for Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton that have hit Florida, the people in Florida are having a really, really tough time. There are different relief efforts going around, and it would be a huge error in my judgment if I didn't bring up any. So I wanted to talk about one in specific that is related to botanicals. There are a few different seed companies out there in the United States. This one happens to be one of my favorites. It's called Baker Creek, and they do heirloom seeds. This is their 2023 catalog. I couldn't find my 2024. I don't know where it is. I'm organized, but not that organized, apparently. So here is their 23. I also have, if you are interested, they do a big one. This is a big one. This is also from their 2023. And this one has stories and recipes along with the seeds. So if you like garden reads and you like seed catalogs, this is the best of every world put together. This was, I believe, $15 US. So their webpage is RareSeeds.com, and they are doing a hurricane relief fundraiser. So from October 10th, today, all the way through Friday, October 11th at 11:59 p.m., they will be donating to hurricane relief efforts. All proceeds of sales on Thursday, today, will go to World Help, which is a humanitarian agency in North Carolina. And it's also elsewhere, and it helps provide food and other basic supplies to hurricane survivors. If that one doesn't interest you, tomorrow, Friday, October 11th, Baker Creek will be donating all seed sales to organizations providing hurricane relief, including Mana Food Bank, which is the sole food bank serving Western North Carolina and some of the other areas. Some of my favorite seeds of theirs, I was able to find some of those. If you're interested in some of the things I like to grow, black hollyhock, so gorgeous. If you love black flowers and black seeds, that's a really unique one. Here is aster. Here, it's salmon colored, really, really pretty. This is one of my kids' favorites. They grow this one all the time. This is pansy. This is the brush strokes viola. And we eat this one. We put this one in salads. This is my youngest daughter's, the Canterbury Bells. For all my purple lovers, this is a stunning flower. And if you want a butterfly garden, if you like monarchs, milkweed is what you grow. So, just wanted to jump in and do a little bit. There are hurricane relief effort fundings everywhere, but I thought that one was botanical themed and it was worth mentioning. All right, let's get back to drawing. All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to lighten up this sketch a little bit. I don't want so much of the pencil poking through. I want this to look as realistic as as I can make it with what I have. I'm currently doing an alternating theme in this sketchbook. So one sketch is 100% all colored pencil, and then the next one is a mixture of colored pencil and ink. So this one's going to be all colored pencil. The one prior, colored pencil and ink, all colored pencil and ink, all colored pencil. So I'm alternating here. And that's been a ton of fun because I've never done that before either. So keeping things spicy and interesting for myself. Now I want to make sure that I add indigo drop shadows in here. I really want this orange to pop. I really want it to look good. So I don't do a lot of orange illustrations. It's not one of my favorite colors in the entire world. I kind of toggle somewhere between blue and green and all the teals, like Prussian green, and I love indigo. I guess any excuse to add indigo to an illustration is kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to go in with this one. And this is the cadmium orange. It has 3 stars. It's 111. I like polychromos. I like their pencils a lot. It's a great starter pencil. If you are thinking about trying it or purchasing or some of these things, grab a couple of the colors you use the most, maybe a black, maybe a green, or a blue. Blue's pretty common. If you are gift giving and you are sticking to a budget, high five from me to you, all my extreme budgeters, but you're looking for a high quality gift to give someone and you're worried that your budget might not be able to support an entire gift set of colored pencils, you are not alone. What you can do is you can buy, a nice sketchbook. You could do a Strathmore, you could do a Canson, and then include 3 or 4. You wrap that up, include 3 or 4 colored pencils, sort of string tied to the front. And that is a great introduction to a high-end artist grade art supply while keeping to a budget. So if your budget's like $15, grab a $10 sketchbook. It doesn't have to be huge, like this is an A6. And then grab, 2 or 3 colored pencils, and you can either Christmas ribbon them or baker's twine or yarn, whatever you have on hand, and just attach it to the front, the little bow. And that's a really nice gift. It's a really quality gift. Especially if it's a kid and they're starting out and maybe they only have Prismacolors, but you want to introduce them to Faber-Castell, or you want to introduce them to Caran d'Ache. Like the luminescents are really nice. You don't have to buy all of them. So there's ways to do that, or include, a really nice sketchbook, because everybody goes through sketchbooks, or just a really budget one, shop for sales, and then include a really nice sharpener with it. This is the Mobius Rupert. This is the brass. It is very weighty, so it's not really for travel, but I have extra blades that you can buy separately, and there's just a little screw here, and so you can change those out and keep going, keep creating. So that is a nice gift to go with a sketchbook. Nice sketchbooks. You can either go by paper weight, you can go by the paper that is to the medium that the gift receiver prefers, watercolor paper, Bristol for sort of pen and ink, or something that you happen to know that they love and use all the time. The higher the cotton count, the better quality it is. But if they're just starting out, it can be wood pulp, it could be cellulose. It doesn't have to, you have to start somewhere. And sometimes when folks want to support another person, they go all out and buy the nicest sketchbook possible. And sometimes really, really nice sketchbooks are intimidating, and it can be a psychological thing where you don't want to ruin it and you don't want to wreck it, so you kind of want to wait till you're better at creating before you start creating in it. And that's not the way to go. Have some cheapy, you know, lower quality sketchbooks and try all the things. Try all the things you've always wanted to try. Have it be swatches, have it be scribbles, have it be just basic compositions, sketches, warm-up exercises. It's okay to have, like, you want to see one of my sketchbooks? This is like a traveler's, this is the Pentalic something. It's a Pentalic recycled something. I'll link it. Anyway, it has a sticker. This is for my gummed up inks when I ink over watercolor that's not fully dry. This is for smears. This is for looking at colors next to each other. This is for experimenting on layering and seeing how things work. All this is just scribbles and trying to figure out, is my pen gonna explode? Does it look better with that color or that color? Can I layer these on top of this? How does that look? This is, gosh, it's a pen that was dying. So certain pens layer really well, certain ones don't. Certain ones have the oil separating from them and it's bleeding through. And obviously I was having some trouble trying to figure out the layering of different colored pencils and what inks look like on top. So that's what this little sketchbook is. Having some that you're not afraid to just get in there and experiment and see what stuff looks like on top of each other, especially if you are really interested in mixed media or you love mixed media. I have a lot of trouble, like I love pens, but I have a lot of trouble sometimes figuring out what they can and can't layer over. So I am constantly just opening that book and like throwing in a couple little scribbles before I start in on a page in my sketchbook or my planner or whatever I'm working on, you know? Having one of those helps. So it doesn't have to be, if you're doing a gift for someone and you're worried you're going to buy them the wrong thing, it's okay to have lower budget sketchbooks. It's okay to have minuscule, really tiny sketchbooks. It all gets used. It all gets used. So they can go online. You could even, okay, this is what you could do. You could grab a really budget sketchbook, get it in like a 3-pack, okay, if you have to do multiple gifts for multiple people. And inside the front cover, you could put a sheet of paper with just a list, like a bullet list of all the different things they could do in that sketchbook, like swatching, like sketches, warm-up exercises, like all those different things you can possibly do to give them ideas for, you know, artist block, sort of creative burnout. Having a sort of list in the beginning of a sketchbook is a really great sort of fallback for, you know, when you're tired, when you still want to create and you don't know what to create, or you can throw in a list idea of their favorite things. If they really love animals, it could be a list of animals. If they love fashion, it could be a list of tons of different clothing ideas. If they love video games, you know, it could be a list of Pokemon, Mario Kart characters, Zelda characters. Having a list like that, and you know, if you want to include one drawing pencil, you know, everybody likes a 2B or a 4B. It's dark. You do H's, those are lighter. You could throw in a brand of drawing pencil that they've never used before. That's high quality. I like the Mitsubishi Hi-Uni. Those are really, really nice. So if you wanted to buy one of those for a couple bucks on like jet pens or something, and then included a list with the sketchbook, that is a wonderful gift. It is a thoughtful gift. It is part purchased, it is part handmade. The handmade portion that goes into that is the list that you include that helps them out when they're struggling. It shows that they're being seen as an artist, that you're thinking about them. There's tons of different ways to do gifts while keeping to a budget. The holiday season is coming up. If you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, maybe you're just thinking about gift ideas. I happen to be a December birthday. So my birthday is the 21st of December. I am a double whammy. If you don't celebrate Christmas per se, but you like giving gifts for holidays, or maybe it's for a boss, or maybe it's for, you know, a neighbor or a friend that really helped you out in a pinch, like you want to say thank you, and they happen to be an artist, there are ways to do that. And still being true to your core things going on in your life, because ultimately the people that love you and care about you don't want you going into debt this holiday season. That's not something they want for you. They want you to be able to have money for your groceries and all the things. So have a budget. Make notes of who you can give gifts to, if you can buy things sort of in bulk and split them up. You know, if you buy a 12 pencil set and then give a couple colors to several different people with a set of sketchbooks you purchased and divide it all up, that will help keep to the budget, buying things kind of in bulk. And I can speak from experience that getting one gift for birthday, Christmas, like that's a thing, or somebody dividing something up and I get one part for Christmas, one part for my birthday. I've never been a super materialistic person, so you know, I like cards. I'm good with just a card. As a kid, that was fine, you know. So if you have to buy for kids, that is something to think about. Now, if they are more into watercolor, think about a watercolor sketchbook and maybe one pan. Like one really, really nice, you could do a Winsor Newton. They're artist grade, not the Cotman, that's more student grade. You could do the Schminke, Da Vinci. I wouldn't do, if they're just starting out, I wouldn't necessarily do a handmade company. There can be inconsistencies within the pan, and that is harder to work with. Or maybe one tube, like a Daniel Smith. You could do a highly granulating watercolor if that's something that they've shown interest in. And you can attach one tube to the outside with a sketchbook on the inside, or one brush. It could be, if you're giving them a smaller sort of sketchbook, having a fine detail brush. I really like the Winsor Newton Cotman. You know, they don't last forever. Depending on how prolific I am with painting, they can last a couple years. This is a 3 round. It's really nice. One really nice brush, you know, and I think that brush was under $5. So you can just include one brush on the outside. All right, so I think that's the base. And now we're definitely gonna need this darker color, this cadmium or dark cadmium orange 115. So yeah, those are some gift ideas for artists. You know, if they're interested in books, how-to books, or maybe their favorite artist has done a book and they really, really want that as a starter reference library or an inspiration library, things you can give them. You know, you can gently see if things gently used. Sometimes you can get things in like new condition. I go through Bookfinder. It really helps cull some of the selling web pages along with eBay, along with Amazon. I like gently used books. I'm here for it. So see if that's something they're interested in, if they don't mind. And sometimes that can help save a chunk of money, you know. Every dollar counts, every dollar adds up. All right, getting our pumpkin on. If you are a minimalist and you're looking for minimal ideas, or you're giving to a minimalist, see if they have a library card. If they don't have a library card, get a library card application. And yeah, hand that to them with a really, you know, nice Christmas card with, you know, a photo of the family or something. Photos are sort of one of those priceless gifts that I think always do well for minimalists, for people, like, especially if you can't give them your time. If you can't give somebody your time, sometimes a photo is one of the better options. So, yeah. Some states within the United States, you can get a library card within one library, and you can get a library card to a different library system within the same state. So picking up a different sort of library card application and mailing that to them and saying if they want a library sort of card for online ebooks and audiobooks and things, for art books to access online if they don't live in the area, can be a really, really nice gift too. I belong to several different library systems because my address is in the state I live in. So we're starting to look a little bit more pumpkinish. I think that's what we're going for. This is not verbatim of this pumpkin, but this pumpkin is a really good guide for me. So that's helping me out a ton. Oh, and our doggo says hi. So I am just gonna keep it on here. I want to show you how I'm going to do this indigo. And I'm going to start really, really light with really, really light pressure. I don't want to muddy this too much. It can become really, really easy to have things look sort of grody when you're layering a bunch of different colors. So I'm going to go really, really lightly, lighter than I need, and then I can always add more. This is just the indigo. This is the complementary color of orange. Can you even see that? Woo, I'm going light. Very, very light. I don't know that you can see that on camera. And I am zoomed in. Let's see if I can zoom in a little more. Okay. Can you see the little bits of indigo in here? That is the complementary color. I'm going to be really, really gentle with it, but I really, really want this orange to pop. So that is how I'm going to do that. Let's see if I can get you closer. All right, you are balanced on a stack of books. That is me adding a little tiny bit of blue here, a little indigo, to make this orange pop out. Can you see that a little bit? Okay, so you see my pumpkin taking shape. I hope this helps. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Please consider buying some seeds today or tomorrow. Try a black flower. 10 out of 10 recommend. These have such an amazing germination rate. Go to RareSeeds.com and see if there's anything that tickles your fancy. Again, I hope your day is wonderful, and I will talk to you later. Bye.